There we go. Okay. Hello everybody. Welcome back to the Flutter stream of mine. I took a 2 weeks, I believe, break. I was in Dubai for an open source meetup. I was doing some work things, and now I'm back, and I'm back with a bang because I got my friend here with me to help me out with my Flutter stuff. Luke.
Hey, how's it going? No, I'm really excited. I've been working in Flutter for, I don't know, the last few years. And I work in it full time right now. And I saw that you had this expense tracking app. And I was looking over the code base, and honestly, it actually looks pretty good. You sent it to me and you were like, hey, like, tell me all the things I did wrong. And I was looking, I was like, it actually looks pretty good. So I'm excited to get into it. And then you had mentioned you were interested in getting persistence set up on it. And of course, there's a few things that I think of when I think of persistence in Flutter, and you had suggested using Realm, and I hadn't looked at the package before, and I looked at it and I was like, oh, this looks great. This looks like a lot of fun. So I think that we should just use the one that you were thinking of using, and see what we can come up with. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, totally. I mean, Realm for Flutter is still in beta, so beta means a ton of fun. So yeah, let's give it a go.
And we're working with money, so it means that we can use all the beta things, right?
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. So here's Realm. Realm. By the way, I recently found out that Realm has been acquired by MongoDB. I didn't know that before. I've been working with Realm previously, I think 5 or 6 years ago, on a mobile app. But haven't touched mobile during that time, so I'm back in mobile again, trying to, get back to the olden days. But everything is updated, everything is new, and I'm lost, man. I've lost my mobile mojo basically that I had years ago. So yeah, this is Realm. The cool thing about Realm is that it supports a lot of SDKs. So for example, if you're building a huge app with multiple SDKs, or if you're like a well-rounded mobile developer that, has a lot of projects in different frameworks, you should check out Realm. I used it in my SwiftUI project last month. It was cool. It was cool working with Realm. I didn't touch any SQL thingies. It has a great driver. So let's check it out. But yeah, the Flutter SDK is in beta, so this is gonna be fun. This is gonna be fun.
That should be interesting. Now,
Yeah.
do we know if this is intended to sync with a MongoDB database? Because it sounded like it had some cloud sync features.
I'm not sure. In the SwiftUI app, I didn't actually do any more sync or anything. It was all local, right there on the phone, and yeah, no internet capabilities, and it still worked. I believe we can also do that as well here in the Flutter app as well.
Gotcha. Because that'd be pretty cool to be able to build a Realm database on mobile and then flip a switch and have it persist to the cloud somewhere. If it's that simple, that would be pretty awesome.
Totally, yeah, like an auto sync, for example, thingy that syncs up whatever it can in the background, so you don't have to do any, network requests, etc. Yeah, that would be super cool. All right, so let's check out the limitations basically. The Realm Flutter SDK enables client applications written in Dart for the Flutter platform to access data stored in Realms. Synchronize data with Atlas, there we go.
There it is.
And use Atlas app services. We're not going to use Atlas for this one because it's a simple app. Beta limitations. Okay, it's a beta release. We encourage you to try it out, the feature, and give feedback. However, be aware that APIs and functionality are subject to change, of course. Okay. It does not yet have certain Realm database features, okay?
I wish they would tell us what they are. It's like, some things are missing, but you get to figure out what it is on your own.
We'll leave the fun to you.
Awesome. Yeah, exactly.
Well, yeah. Well, let's check it out. I got my project right here. Let's actually run the app so we can have it, because we're gonna wait for that. What's the run? F5. Awesome. 14 Pro Max. I believe that was the one. Awesome. Alright, so what we need to do locally Install the Realm Flutter SDK. Define the object schema. Configure and open the Realm. I believe Realm is like a
Feels like we're playing a video game. So you're opening a portal into the persistence realm.
Opening a realm.
This is awesome.
Yeah, that's about it. Okay, cool.
It sounds pretty straightforward. Have you found it on pub.dev yet?
I think I did. Honestly, I tried to not touch anything Realm related, so you know, we deliver the stream as honestly as we can.
Let's see here. Are you watching Twitch chat or are you watching StreamYard chat?
Both.
Okay, so I just sent you a link to the package on pub.
Yeah. Packages Realm. Yeah. Or we can use the. Do you use like the directly into? Here's the first beginner Flutter question. Do you use the CLI to install this, or do you manually paste?
So I used to just, so in VS Code, I would just paste it into the dependencies in pubspec.yaml, and then the VS Code, the Dart code extension will just like sense that change, and then it will get it for you. But I've been working in a command line editor for the last few months, and in that I will use the command line tool. So it all depends on how your IDE is set up.
Awesome, yeah.
But both are totally valid. The nice thing about doing the Flutter pub add realm is it will automatically get the latest version. If you paste it into pubspec.yaml, you have to like make sure you're getting the right version.
So is this a valid syntax in this case? With the
I don't think it is. But what you can do is you can actually replace that with the phrase any, and it will usually grab the latest one, although it's not always the latest one, because if you have, it's really complicated. If you have another dependency that is depending on an older version of Realm, then it will pull down the version. But when you're just prototyping, you can just type in Realm : any, and it will 99.9% of the time will get you the latest one. But you wouldn't want to do that in like a production scenario, just for like hacking around.
Yeah,
it's basically for people who don't want to open up pub.dev and find the actual version number that they're supposed to be using.
The lazy route.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And I'm a huge fan of the lazy route.
Yeah. All right, running Xcode. Xcode is taking pretty long.
Yeah, it does take long.
To add it.
We've had a few people at work start using Android for all of their debugging because it launches so much faster with larger projects. But I have to admit, I'm always on iOS because that's like where my head is. Because I've been an iOS user forever, so I always use the iOS simulator.
Yeah, same. I mean, it's like I even started building the app using the material material package, but then I rewrote everything in Cupertino just because
interesting.
I got more experience in iOS than Android. I started off with Android, then I jumped off to iOS, and then I kind of continued with iOS back in the day.
Now, what do you think of the fidelity of the Cupertino widgets in Flutter? Do you feel like they're good enough, or do you feel like they're not good enough?
Well, I guess for the basic, stuff, it's totally good enough. There are some weird scenarios. For example, I couldn't change the style of the picker.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm not sure when Apple introduced this, but for example, we have a picker, right? And that picker usually, for example, the old versions were like the counter thingy that's, you need to drag up and down in order to select. And now they have a new one which you can trigger, and it opens up like a menu, right? Like a little pop-up.
Right.
Yeah, so I wanted that, but it kind of didn't work. I couldn't.
It didn't work, or it didn't exist?
It didn't exist.
Yeah.
I tried doing some, black magic, but nothing. So I just went with the with the
old one. Yeah, that's my big complaint about Cupertino and Flutter, is that they have to be really on top of it to make sure that everything is up to date. And they don't have like backwards compatibility with old iOS versions. So if they like update something to be up to date in, I'll make up a number, iOS 15, and someone's on like iOS 11, then the person on iOS 11 will have the iOS 15 style widgets. Do you know what I mean? Which could like
Yeah,
it could look weird or it could look awesome. I don't know how users would experience that. I don't know if they'd be like, "Oh, this is great. It's like a brand new app, but my phone is old," or if they're like, "This doesn't make any sense. It looks like everything's broken." I have no idea how they would experience it. I've always wondered that.
But it's possible because Flutter actually draws pixels, right?
Yeah,
It doesn't.
right, exactly.
It doesn't use the iOS. It's not a wrapper around the native components per se.
Exactly.
It just, yeah.
Yeah, I always like to tell people it's like Unity or like a video game engine, because it really is like a canvas where everything is being painted pixel by pixel. So it does not inherit any UI elements from the platform, which is a pro and a con, right?
Yeah.
It's a pro because everything looks the same everywhere, but it's a con because maybe sometimes you want to have access to those native widgets, native components.
Like make them basically, distinctive per platform.
Yeah.
Can you make them distinctive per platform?
Yeah, so you can target by platforms. You can say, if this is the platform that it's running on, show this. Otherwise, show this. That can be really helpful. And a good example of that is, this is getting really nerdy, but a good example of that is whenever I'm building a custom UI and it's got like a rounded corner, people who are like huge UI nerds will know that on Android, they have just like a regular rounded corner. And on iOS, they have something called like squircle corners where they're continuous curvature. And so what you can do is when you're making this element that has this rounded corner, you can say, if it's on Android, use like the regular corner. If it's on iOS, use the squircle corner. And it actually changes how correct it looks on these platforms in a way that's pretty compelling, even such a slight change like that.
But what is the approach if you want to like remove that, struggle of doing ifs and ifs and ifs? Would you, for example, build your own wrapper, like your own components, and then use them as well that, have the platform logic inside and then just return the corresponding? Is that like the most clever route?
Yeah, I've seen a few ways of doing it. One is, you just do the if then like when you need it, right? The other one is you can make like a platform aware button or like a platform aware text field, and then you can do that if then in that, so that when you're going to when you need a text field, you're just asking for a text field and you don't care what it looks like. It's going to look correct in the right context. The other option I've seen is you can actually make a builder widget. It's basically, when it's iOS, build this. When it's Android, build this instead. And so that's kind of like the if then, but it's a little more, it looks a little more correct in the widget tree instead of having these ternaries everywhere. But my preference is to create just like a button, right? So you can have like app button, and then the app button just changes whether it's Android or iOS. So, or like raised button and text button are like two of the common ones.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, it does make sense. Yeah. And maybe I guess most of the times people would want custom buttons. So there shouldn't be even differences between the platforms, right? So you can design your own button if you're using a design system, if that's the case. Then you're not really interested in the platforms. I just want to draw my own button.
100%.
Which is distinctive, yeah.
And that's where it kind of shines. If you're building out a fully custom UI that's got all your custom branding and everything, then Flutter is really nice because you can paint it correctly on one platform and it's going to look identical on all your platforms. Yeah. And so when you're doing that, then it's super nice in that way.
Yeah. I mean, as you mentioned, it's basically just drawing pixels on a screen, right? It's not reusing anything from the platform it's running on, so it's like totally detached from the rules and the components that come with the platform. So yeah, that's totally that's a con, I think. Yeah, it's easier to keep it consistent. Yeah.
Hey, I was wondering if you could give me a tour of the app because I haven't seen it run yet, but it looks pretty compelling.
Yeah, this is it's an expense tracking app, right? I thought about building this because I think I want to start tracking my expenses. I wanted to make it like a multi-currency, but then I realized that, you know, it's
That's
it's a
crazy.
third dimension.
Yeah.
If you want to draw charts, right? You have time, you have like category, time and date, etc., and also the currency. I believe that's crazy. So
Yeah.
I
You
scraped
could
that, so
you
just
could translate everything into a base currency. I think that's a pretty common tactic
Yeah.
to keep it
Yeah,
two-dimensional.
and like keep a list of coefficients.
Yeah,
You can
exactly.
multiply to convert. Yeah, but
Yeah.
I was.
But then of
I
course you
didn't
have
want to
that you have to connect to a network and make sure that that's
Yeah.
always up to date. And
Up to date,
and
yeah.
then my question with that stuff is like, should you bind the how do I think about this? Should you bind the exchange rate at the time that the transaction was made? In order for, is that what you need to do in order for it to be correct, or can you just use what the current exchange rate is? I feel like you'd have to use it based on the time that the transaction was made in order for it to be accurate, don't you think?
I'm not sure. I mean, I'm not. I don't know about how the you know, rates change. I would think that it's on a daily basis. Because if I try to use my online banking to pay something or like to convert something, and if I try to use today's the today date, it says you need to use tomorrow's date because now it's
that's
like
weird.
it's too late to do it. Yeah, so I'm not sure why it is. I believe it's for the conversion to take place, you know, and they do the transactions manually, right? And now it's too late because the queue is up and I need to set the date for tomorrow. And
Suffice to say that single currency is probably going to be a lot easier.
Yeah, totally. So I scraped the multi-currency. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
fair
yeah,
enough.
here we go. We have the expenses screen. That is the first one. At the top we can see how much we've spent in the period.
Yep.
So this is this week, for example, by default. We can, and here's the picker that I mentioned.
Gotcha. Man, your
Yeah,
burn
here's-
rate on pizza is pretty amazing.
Yeah. Pizza is really it's vital, yeah. 660.
$659 US a week or a
Sweet,
month.
yeah.
I don't know what that is.
It's just yeah, this is an expense row. It's just like
Gotcha.
a one time. Yeah, I
A
don't have
one
support
time.
for-
So you
One
got
time, yeah.
$659 worth of pizza one time. That's pretty legit.
Yeah,
I want to come
totally
over for
is.
your pizza parties if that's how you do it.
There's a lot left over, man. It's a lot of pizza. But yeah, we're changing the range here. Week, month, or year, or today, so we can preview all of our expenses that we've made. There's a note at the top. We got some. We got the currency and the amount, the time, and also the category. Right, so these
Gotcha.
categories are pretty cool because we can color code them as well. So
Yeah, that is
there we
awesome.
go. Yeah. Then we have the report screen where we have the same exact list at the bottom here, but we also draw some charts. And today is not in the like an option here. As you can see, it's only week, month, or a year. So for example, for this week, and now it's a bit buggy, as you can see. Here's this week's. For example, from 31st October until 6th of November, here's the week, right? These are the expenses, like each day, how much have you spent? I had a feature planned to also break down the categories. For example, I don't know, for today we spent almost 3K, right? But I want to showcase that I spent 650 on pizza today and like paint that yellow because takeout is yellow, for example, right? But I still haven't implemented that. And for
So are you
example,
talking about like a bar that's like segmented? Is that what you're talking about? Gotcha.
yeah, like a
cool.
stacked bar chart.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And it was a lot harder in SwiftUI, so I decided to only show the amounts. But playing with the Flutter one, I think it's super easy. And yeah, if we swipe
cool.
left, we can, you know, go and, you know, around the periods, right? We have the 17th until 23rd, 24th until 30th, and then 31st until 6th, right? We're just skipping weeks basically.
Got
to
it.
preview, yeah. And of
Cool.
course, yeah, if we set the month, there is no, come on. There we go. We have a lot, like we have 31 depends on like the month, right? So the number of days in the month, we have that many charts right here, and it's basically the week view, but it's just a whole month.
Yeah,
There's nothing
got
else. And I'm filtering the list at the bottom, right? So we're traversing here month by month. That's what the thing is. And for example, for the year, we have the every month. So I'm accumulating all of the expenses for each month instead. And there's no swiping left or right. This is like an artifact because I'm in a pager.
Got it.
But
Got
yeah,
it.
there is no. It's like 1 year of retention basically. Right.
Very
so
cool. What are you using to paint that chart? Are you using a package or are you doing it manually?
I think it's a package. Probably is a package. Let's see. We got screens, pages. I need to rename this to screens because there we go. What do we have here?
FL chart.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Flutter expenses list. Maybe I have something else. Let's see. Monthly chart. Oh, I need to jump into the components charts. There we go. Yeah, FL charts.
Gotcha. Cool.
Yeah. It was.
I like how you called it goodbye money.
Yeah, because we're spending.
You're spending
all
it,
the
so you
money.
gotta say
$6.50 on
goodbye
pizza.
to it. Yeah. That's fantastic.
And yeah,
Oh,
this is
man.
the report screen. There's nothing else on it other than just. I'll also show the average per day. Right, so we can say that in this year, from all of my expenses, the average was $5.3 per day. Alan, what's
Gotcha.
up? Then we have, for example, the settings screen. We have the categories and we have erase all data. We'll implement this today, right? So we'll just basically wipe all of the data that we have locally. And the category screen, this is mock data, this is dummy data. We have the categories here. I have a color picker that would allow us to pick like a color for our category. We can say, I don't know, groceries and hit enter, and it should create. It's not creating right now. It's all
Gotcha.
static.
Yep. Gotcha.
And then we go to the ad screen. We have a little form right here. We can say what is the amount. Well, the amount is $6.50 for the pizza, right? What is the recurrence? Is it like a daily expense, weekly, monthly, or yearly expense, right?
Yep.
Maybe it's yeah, we'll set it to monthly, and we can say we'll leave it as $6.50 because that's pretty much how much my power bill is.
Yep.
Joking, yeah. And we have the category, right? Here we go: food, transportation, entertainment. These will show up the actual ones that you implemented, right? And you can also see the color coding as well. I added a little dot because it's more fun, right?
Yeah, of course.
So,
No, that's awesome.
we
You
can
gotta have
say-
them color coded.
Yeah, we got them.
That
Bills,
looks-
power bill.
this looks great, man. And it looks like your expenses are all mocked. Is that what I'm seeing?
Yes, they are all mocked. For example, we can go into the mock folder, and I got everything put down
Yeah.
here.
Cool.
And yeah, but the idea is to actually scrape that and start using real expenses, right? And real categories, etc.
Now, when you submit an expense, does it mutate these mock expenses, or does it just not go anywhere right now?
It's just not going anywhere.
Okay. Cool.
Alan asks, can I find this on GitHub? Yeah, let me find the link for you. github.com/Nicole of Lazar. Let's see the repository name. I think it was Goodbye Money Flutter. There we go. There we go. Sending the message. Awesome. Let me know if you got it. Yeah. So yeah, nothing happens right now. We can just I got only the static files, only the UI, etc. And that's about it, you know. Bolts.
Love it. That's fantastic. I feel like we should get Realm working, right? And get those mock expenses in there.
Should open a new realm.
Open a new realm. Exactly.
Yeah, we added the realm. We already did this, and now we can import the realm package. But we're gonna see about that. Standalone. I guess this is it. Yeah. Let's get into the SDK. So define your object model. I do have some leftovers, like the modals that I have in Swift. I'm not sure how much we can use them, but I can open them just so we can have them on the side, you know. It's basically the same app, it's just in Swift.
Yeah,
Good
gotcha.
money. Majestic beards.
Yeah, majestic beers. That's right.
Alright, there we go. Let's see how I can make this work. Third screen here. Awesome. Alright, this is Xcode. This is the same app that we just saw, but it's just written in Swift UI. And I have the modals right here, just 4 modals. We have the category, and this is how Realm looks in Swift, right? You basically tag object ID and you add the @persisted descriptor or something like that. I'm not sure how these were called.
Annotation?
Modifier. Yeah, the stuff in Swift.
Yeah.
We have the expense right here, and also added some additional utility functions. But in our case, because Flutter is super cool, we have extensions, and I already moved them, for example, on the list of the expenses. That's what we're doing here. And I actually love this feature, like building, you know, extensions on your own models, right? So I can say, basically, because this is a list of expenses, I can say, okay, give me the expenses and now give me the sum of them, right? Or like group them by week or group them by month, etc. So it's super cool. Like,
yeah, it is awesome. I'm glad that you use this early on, because a lot of times people don't learn about this until later. And it's a really nice thing to have nailed down from the beginning.
Totally, yeah. And like we could do that in JavaScript, for example, because that's my background. It's, you know, you can always do the .prototype and add stuff into it, but
then like someone starts screaming at you for doing it. They're like, exactly. "Don't do it!" And I'm like, I'm from Dart, man. I want to do it. I want to do my extensions.
Yeah, totally. And yeah, and I was like, man, this looks pretty good, and like, it doesn't make sense not to use them, right?
Right.
Just beautiful. Awesome. And yeah, that's pretty much it. We could like get these and like massage them later, but all that I have is like expense, recurrence. I'm not sure why I keep this. Maybe it's because I need to link the recurrence. It's totally like not needed, because these are like the recurrences, right? There is no other recurrences. We can only keep them as strings, but then maybe parse them, etc. I just decided to basically do a persistible enum and just keep them in the local database. Might be a new move, but yeah, it made it work, as well as the period. So these two could
so
easily
persistible
be...
enum, is that a Realm feature, or is that
it's a
else?
Realm feature? Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, it comes from Realm, so it's like a way to persist the enums, right?
Yeah.
And when, for example, we're creating an expense, I think I got the mock here, or why did I delete that? I should have kept that. But yeah, we have the recurrence right here. I can, when I'm creating the object, I can just say recurrence.monthly and not care about anything else, you know? So it's going to parse that and persist that for me.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm wondering if Realm has something like that in Flutter or in Dart. Do we know?
We're gonna check it out.
Okay.
It's a cool feature, I think.
Oh, it's a great feature.
Yeah. Alan asks, I haven't used Realm, but it's used mainly for caching data, right? I don't know. Like, you can have your local database
through whatever you want.
In your mobile, yeah. You can also, I think if you missed the part, we were talking about how it's bought by MongoDB and it works great with Mongo Atlas, and you can synchronize all that, but we haven't tried that. And I'm not sure we'll try that out. But yeah, the idea is that we have our modals here, only the category and the expense, so we're already set up, right? I believe we should be modifying these classes, if they should be classes. I don't know, we'll see.
I'm hoping you'll be able to just add annotations to that. It looks like you'll be able to.
Yeah, there we go. So we can import the package.
Did you already install it? I can't remember.
Yeah, already
Okay.
installed. Yeah,
So is this your
What is the
first time
parts?
doing code generation in Dart?
totally. I was gonna ask what is parts. I have no idea.
Yeah,
what part
yeah.
is.
Code generation. So I'll give you a short rant. So code generation in Dart is kind of old technology. And so what we have to do is we use these annotations to mark up a class, for example, to tell the code generator what to do. And then it will literally generate a source code file. In this case, it's going to generate car.g.dart. And you'll be able to just
Okay.
look right through it because it's just going to put it right in that directory, right next to
Oh,
car.dart. And so the part basically says, you know, car.dart is a file, but part of this file is car.g.dart. So those two files will act like a single file in terms of like when Dart's looking at it.
Okay, yeah. And there's like a lot of hiccups happening when using code generation and stuff like that.
Yes. And it takes a long time and it's slow and everybody hates it. But the good thing about code generation is that it generates code that you don't have to write. So we deal with it.
Yeah. Awesome, awesome. All right, so let's check this out, right? We can import the Realm Dart. I'm getting bad Wi-Fi. Damn. So we can import the Realm package right here. Just make room. There we go. Import package Realm. Unused import. Okay. We need to do the part thingy.
Yep. So that'll just be
And-
part.expense.dart.
Yeah. Expense.g.dart.
Yes,
Dot
thank
G
you. Yep.
is
Dot G
generated,
is
right?
needed. Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
So you got it right there.
Awesome. Let's tag. Does it have to be underscore?
It does. And the reason it has to be underscore, and this is specific to Realm, every code generation package does it differently.
Mhm.
You're making car private. So what it's probably going to do is it's probably going to generate a class that's just called car and is public. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So we make our own like a private class
Yep.
just so we can mark up what we want to have.
Yep.
And the code generator will generate the public one for us and we'll use that one instead, right?
Yep. Yep.
What about the imports? For example, we're using the expense, right? We're using the expense class everywhere. Do we need to change the import to be .g.dart?
No, oh no, because the .g.dart is going to be invisible. It is merely a part of this file. So everything will go through expense.dart.
Okay, cool.
So
let's see.
if they did a good job of writing this package, then you'll be able to mark that as a realm model, make expense private, run code generation, and everything else should just work.
Awesome. So let's see. We need to do. Oh, everything is late in here. Nice. We need an ID. They had like a run realm generate. Okay, that's how we generate some.
Oh, that's
code.
interesting. They have their own code generator.
Yeah. Flutter pub run realm generate. Pub is like npm, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Awesome.
And pub run is like npx.
Yeah. Yeah. So it takes the package name, right?
Yeah.
And it tries to run this
Run
command.
some command called generate
inside,
that's
yeah.
within the package. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. All right, so primary key. We don't have a primary key right here. We need to probably do it. So late final string make. Okay, late and final. That would be an object ID, I believe. An object ID should come from. It's not from the object ID, but it's from Dart or from Realm. Is there a way to see what we get from here? Maybe like this, or not?
So you can try to drill down, but Pub has really, really good API docs that shows you all of the. Let's see here. I'll send you a link to it. So if you were to go to the Pub website, the Realm website, there's a link on the right that says API reference, and I sent you a link to that API reference.
Oh, that's cool.
And so that will show you all of the, yeah, so click on the libraries realm on the left. You got it right
There
there.
we go.
And then that'll show you all of the public classes, and then you can click through and get all kinds of information on it.
There we go, yeah. We do have the object ID. This is what I was looking for. So we want to use this object ID as like the type of our key, right? It's
Yes.
It's
Or
persistent
maybe,
in
I don't know.
Mongo. Yeah, I mean, yeah. It also comes
Okay.
in the Swift ones, and it's also bought by Mongo, right? So Mongo has these object
Gotcha.
IDs. But this one comes from the package object ID, right? We want to bring the one from Realm. Is that possible?
It may be that they're just exporting it. It may be that Realm is just exporting object ID from that package.
Okay. So we'll just like keep it like this.
I think you can just keep it like that.
Awesome.
The
Alright,
only
so-
question I have is that I noticed that in their example, they
They have
are
like
using a
primary
string
key.
instead of object ID.
Yeah, for the car. No, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
primary key. Yeah, at the very top is the primary key, and then the type is string.
In this case, we don't have anything, so we do need to have like some sort of an ID.
Yes.
So I guess we'll just like keep it like this. And there's also no constructor, so we need to get that
Mm-hmm.
out as well. But I have a default one here, which is the recurrence. It doesn't have
Right.
to be set. Yeah.
I would comment that out, and then let's see what the code generator actually creates.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna save this. This is not being generated, but after we make our class, we need to run this command, right? Pub
Yeah.
run realm generates.
See what it does.
Recompiling builds.
Okay, so it is using build runner behind the scenes. They must have just given us a nice command to access it.
Okay.
Let's see here.
Failed. Real
All right, so it's got an error. What do we got? Right, so now your category needs to be marked as well.
Oh,
Because
right,
it doesn't
yeah.
know how to serialize, or it doesn't know how to handle that.
That does. Yeah, it makes sense. Okay, so let's get the category.
And then you'll have to add the
as well.
part in that one as well.
Let's go. I'm using Dart UI. Oh, okay, because of the color here. That's gonna be
Yeah.
interesting to.
Yeah, I don't know how it's going to handle that, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Maybe we need to like add a custom parser for this.
It's possible, yeah, or have like a custom class for it or something.
Yeah, because I believe we can get the red, green, and blue, and just
Yeah.
from there.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Here's the category G Dart realm model on the category. We also want to get the object ID as a primary key because right now we don't have anything specific. Maybe the name, but I want to put.
Yeah, it could be the name or it could be the color in like RGBA
like
or
a-
something like
yeah.
that.
And also kill the constructor underscore category, and this should be it, right?
Yeah, let's see what happens if we're lucky.
Let's see. Now all the other stuff are complaining because we don't have our models. Failed again. Nice.
What's
It's
it
not a
want?
real model. No, it is.
Late file category. Oh, interesting. So
So it's not generated, right?
it's not generated. So how do we handle that situation? This is really curious. What happens if you go to your expense, and what happens if you comment out that category field?
It should technically be okay, right? Because of the
That's really
Using
interesting.
it.
I'd be
a-
curious. It should handle that case, right? Like, it would be pretty
Yeah.
wild if it didn't handle that case. But let's just try this now and see what happens.
it's the chicken or the egg
Right,
situation.
right.
Again, of course, the color is not a realm, but we do get the expense, which is pretty cool.
Okay, so expense did come through. That's good.
Yeah. Also set this ID. ID is object ID. It probably knows what it is. So check it out. It adds the realm entity, realm object base, and realm object. Okay, that's cool. And it does the get stuff. Realm object base, get this ID. So we get the typings, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
We get the typings this way. Nice, nice. Okay. This is code generation, right?
Yep.
We can freeze it as well.
Okay, cool, cool.
Get changes. Okay, now this is cool. Okay, we can get the changes of the objects.
Oh, so it's like reactive.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's cool. Yeah, it's like reactive, not transactions, but yeah, changes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
So like, it probably marks our object as like dirty if we try to update them, but we still haven't saved them. Maybe that's the case.
Yeah, it's interesting. I also noticed that the setters on these fields throw a unsupported set error, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah.
Because in theory, they could have just omitted the setters. So I wonder if they, wonder if there's tools to like somehow implement your own setters in Realm, and they're like leaving that open for that. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Pretty cool to see like hey, here's a setter, and bam, you get bit if you try to use it.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right.
So, since we got this,
oh, you know what? I bet the reason why it didn't work is because of that color on category. I bet that's why. I bet that's why it didn't generate it in the beginning.
Let's actually try it out. So I'm gonna kill.
Yeah.
This is the only file that's comes out of the generator.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Nice. So let's like kill it. I would remove the color right here, save it, and bring back the category.
I bet it'll work now.
Yeah, so when we run this, it should not be a chicken or the egg situation. Maybe, yeah, maybe you're right, yeah.
Let's see what happens.
It should be able to be smart enough because it knows the, the linking and the dependencies.
Yeah, imagine if you had to generate these in order every time. That would be like crazy. But it looks like it failed again.
He's not a realm model, yeah.
Oh no.
Oh man. Like, what if you had like, I don't know, 20 plus, 30 plus?
Yeah, that's
a lot of manual work.
I feel like we're missing something because it would seem what's the word I want to use? It's not great if this is how it works.
Yeah.
Let's just put it that way.
We need to like do it one by one, yeah.
Yeah, that would be a big nope.
A lot of
in my world. But so that's why I'm sure that we're missing something, but I don't know what.
Yeah. There's a watch command, which is cool. Okay, that's nice. Okay, I bet we can just run that in the background.
Yeah, you can try it.
And just like leave it there hanging.
Let's see what it does.
Category as type of category. Now category is already generated right here.
Oh, it is there.
Yeah, but we try to, and then we have it here as well. He's not.
Oh, hang on. Does it come in as a different name? Is it not coming in as category, but instead something else?
Maybe it's like, should we?
Is it like realm category or something? I'm just making it up. What happens if you go to the generated file? What? Actually, I suppose I could look too.
Check it out. No, it's category extends.
Oh, it is category.
Yeah, so we could, because it's we marked it as a part, so we could get the without the underscore. Yeah.
Right. Right. Okay. So it should work. It did generate it.
Yeah, technically it did, but we don't know why. What's the issue here now? Expense.g.dart.
Right, so that's not generating because of that error below.
Because of this?
That is not generating because of the category is not a realm model type error.
Oh man, should we do this instead? Like,
no, but you can't do that because it's private.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
weird. Okay, so what do we do?
That category, what's the definition there? Where does that go to? Okay, no, that goes to the right place.
Yeah.
Maybe?
And it's category.g.dart, which is like a sibling file.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks fine. We
And
don't
then
have to
get
tag
here.
it with something, do we? We don't need to annotate it with something special.
Maybe there is. Yeah. Let's see. We need to find the relations. Realm object schema. We already did that. React to changes. Read and write. There's a search. Relation. Give us linking objects. Okay, we want to link some objects. There's the extents as well. There's a person. It has a dog. The dog also extends that, and it's linking. Has the linking objects of the dog. Realm users.
Linking
Person,
objects.
Okay. So this is what we need to do basically, right? But these are extending the realm object instead of being like annotated with that.
Oh, interesting.
If we remove the annotation, the at realm object, then code generation won't work probably, or it will it? Because it might be. Let's see. Realm model.
I'm gonna check to see if they have an example because
realm objects.
No, it says
Import. Wait, what?
sorry. There is an example here, and it does show these nested realm models. The only problem is that they're both in the same file.
Oh. Let's see.
You could try putting them in the same file, but that would seem. Wait, hang on. Did we?
There we go. We have these. I got the person. I got the car. But these
You could
are not
try
linked?
putting them in the.
No, they are linked.
You could try
Yeah.
putting them in the same file, but that seems odd.
Yeah. It's gonna work in our case because we're talking about small objects, and these are the only things
True.
that we wanna use.
You could try it. You could try pasting it in there and see what happens.
What if we did models.dart and just like
Yeah, that would
combine
be fine
these two?
too.
Modals. We're going to do a modals.g.dart and also just like get the expense. Oh, come on. Stay there. We'll get the expense right here. Bring it here into the modals. We need some imports as well. What do we got here? We don't use the recurrence. I believe these two just because we already get the realm.darts. There we go. Okay, now this is not
Not generated yet.
check this out. It says import the package realm.dart
Yeah.
and it's already
It's already there.
Already there, yeah. I can import it again. Right, so
That's really weird. Now, one thing you can do in VS Code is if you open your command palette, you can do restart analysis server for Dart, and that should give it a kick in the pants if it needs it.
Nice. Classes can only extend other classes. Try specifying a different superclass or removing the extend clause. And it needed to be. We don't actually need the extents, yeah. In this case, when we keep them in the same file.
Interesting. Okay. I'm curious if this will generate. Yeah, right.
And we should.
I would at least comment out that other stuff. Yeah.
All right, let's see.
And I don't know if you noticed that, but that code generator that was watching, it deleted that file for you.
Yeah, the .g, that was pretty cool. But let's see. Failed. Why did it fail? Category is not nullable.
Oh, it wants to be nullable. Interesting.
How do we do
So
that?
down category, yeah, with a question mark behind it.
Just like this.
Yeah.
Make it nullable. Let's see. Okay, succeeded. Yeah,
Did it work?
yeah, we got him. Here's the
Weird.
category.
Don't know what to tell you.
Yeah,
You know, it's not the end of the world, but it's also not great.
yeah. We should be able to do that, you know, in multiple files, just like we had it before. Super weird though.
Yeah. So now we got to figure out that color. Oh, by the way, I just found out I have to jump in 5 minutes.
Okay.
But I would love to see if we can figure out what to do with that color.
Yeah, maybe like a custom parser or anything like that.
Does Realm do parsing for types, or do you have to, like, can you give it a custom type parser, or how does that work?
We should check it out. But right now I have no idea. Like, if we go, where are we? If we go, for example, in the Swift UI case, I have the category and I have the color, but I created a persistible color.
Oh,
class.
interesting.
Yeah, that extends the embedded object. I think this comes from Realm.
Yeah.
And I'm basically just, it's just like this, right? So I have a custom color that uses the RGB and opacity, and when I'm trying to get it, there we go. I can get the persistible value and the persisted value. So it's like giving the color from storage, or like put this color in the storage. Outside of that API, I'm only using the color.
That's awesome.
Yeah, using this extension, I'm basically like converting these as I need.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Maybe we should use something like this instead.
I wonder if they have something in the Dart SDK.
Yeah,
I'm curious
but
now.
might be a problem. It's not gonna be actually a problem because we use the colors. You know, in our UI, we'll just convert it back to an ordinary color, right?
That would be the hope.
Yeah,
Let's see.
I believe it's gonna work. Yeah, I mean it's not.
You're
really,
feeling good about it. That's the important thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. But yeah, if you gotta go, I believe we did some progress, right? Not much, but it's all right. If you're up for it, we can continue some other day. And
yeah, we can do that for sure. This is awesome. So first of all, I just want to say I think the app is fantastic. The way it's all laid out and everything, it's super compelling.
Thanks, man.
It already looks nice.
Let me drop the Figma file as well, because I open sourced that as well.
Awesome. Yeah, good. That's cool that you did the Figma thing.
Yeah, there's a new feature that I'm gonna work on, the leave feedback.
Yep.
So let's share this with the folks.
Yeah, this is awesome.
Drop it, anyone can pick it apart.
I'm glad that you did the design and are working off of it, because that makes a big difference for sure.
Yeah, totally. I mean, there are some like changes, right? Here's the first change. The large iOS title.
Yeah.
I couldn't achieve that here. I could if I used the what was the package? Sliver? No.
That sounds
title
right.
bar sliver, something like that. Something sliver, yeah. But I didn't want to make this whole thing scroll. I just wanted to make this part scroll, right?
Right.
Yeah.
No, I hear you there. So it looks like you had a trade-off, and you decided to go a certain way, and I think that's fine.
Out with the ordinary expenses, like ordinary title right here.
Yep.
But yeah, other than that, I think it was, there was not much of the compromises that I needed to do. This looks decent as well. Like, I mean,
it looks totally decent.
Yeah, if I achieve this, for example, because this is like super, it's looking way better. But I don't care. It's, it's even if it's not that far off, right?
Right, it's not that far off. The other thing too is the Realm actually looks. I know we didn't get to actually persist the models, but Realm actually looks pretty compelling. What I'd be curious to know, and I guess I can find out right now, is if there's any way to generate like to JSON and from JSON methods, so you could also send them over the wire, because that would be awesome. You might have to mix it with something called JSON serializable, I'll post a link to that for you. JSON serializable.
So we can like. And...
Yeah, and this may not apply to you, but it may apply to other projects. Where let's say you wanted to fetch data from a server, and it's going to be in JSON, and you want to get that and parse it into a data class, but then also be able to save that data class to a realm. That would be pretty awesome if you could do both of those things with the same model. So if it's doable, then that would be pretty sweet. Although maybe not important for what you're building.
Yeah, but it's good to know that, for example, we could be doing this, right?
I think it'll work because it generates the from JSON and to JSON methods, and I think you can just add them to these models.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a simple layer, right? We just mark it as a JSON serializable, and we have these two methods that help us parse and, serialize. I think it
would work.
It's almost free, right?
Right. It's almost free.
It's free.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Totally.
Awesome.
All right, man. I got to jump. Listen, this has been really awesome. Happy to do another one. I'm looking forward to see how this thing turns out. And for what it's worth, the Flutter code base looks great.
Awesome.
There's some stuff, there's some nits here, but they're like not really important. You know what I mean? I think it's looking fantastic.
Awesome. Yeah, I want to get that as well. So I would appreciate it if you, like, tell me what the mistakes, where the mistakes are, and like.
Well, I'll tell you what, when we do the next one, we can start at the beginning. We can probably do 10 minutes and I can just go through and be like, this doesn't look quite right. But they're not like functional problems. It's just like how an everyday Flutter developer would write something one way instead of another way. Do you know what I mean? Like in JavaScript using like let instead of var, for example. It's just like little stuff like that that's basically meaningless, but it could be fun to go over it.
Awesome. Yeah. But overall, like I've worked on that app just for like a month. I think I started at mid-October.
Yep.
And now we're like the beginning of November, even just like 2 or 3 weeks. So far, I don't know. I haven't built anything that fast. So I think that's
good.
Mostly kudos to the framework, to Flutter itself, because I had a bit more, a bit more fight with Swift UI.
Interesting. Yeah, no, I think Flutter is really great for building fast for sure. The good news is the stuff that Flutter, or actually the stuff that Dart is not very good at, things like we don't have tag unions or like sum types or anything like that. And also we don't have macros like in Rust. If people are familiar with Rust, you can write like structs and enums. The enums are tag unions, and then you can serialize them and deserialize them with something like Serde. And like just those three things is like huge. It's amazing. So we don't have that kind of tooling in Dart, but luckily that tooling appears to be on the horizon because we'll be adding static metaprogramming to the language in the next like year or so. So when that happens, it should open up tooling that's similar to Rust macros. And if that happens, then it's kind of like the sky's the limit. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there because, for example, today when we had to run all that code generation, that stuff would happen in the background. You wouldn't even have to think about it. And it would all be type checked and it would all have analyzer warnings and all that stuff instead of having to like keep hitting build and like see what happens. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then much smarter that way. Yeah.
Totally.
Awesome.
All right, man. I'm going to jump. Thank you so much.
Thanks for jumping in, saving the day. And yeah, looking forward to continue this one.
All right. Thank you so much. I'll see you later.
Take care. And yeah, I believe this is the end because when Luke leaves, it's not going to be fun anymore.
I'm ruining the party. Oh, man.
This is the end of the episode. I believe we can do Tuesday or Thursday next week. But yeah, keep an eye on my account. I'll be posting everywhere if you want to continue working with, continue the series. So yeah, again, thank you so much for watching, everyone. Thank you, Luke, for jumping in. And see you soon. Bye.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
See ya.